Where are you standing along your pathway? Is the scenery grand and delicious? Or are you surrounded by something that looks unfamiliar? Roads taking one to places one thought was not on the map. Or perhaps a scenery that was so expected that each step was created to allow the space of the grandest scenery of one's heart's desire. Where are you standing in your scenery of life? How are you feeling in your scenery of life? Roads traveled, one's walking in for a short time, one's walking in for a long duration. Who stepped in? Who walked away? What turns did one make that one wasn't expecting to make? What called one forth? Where are you standing along the pathway of life? In the oneness, in the wholeness, sharing higher consciousness. We are asking the question to allow one space to ponder one's creation. And ones will say, oh, I didn't create this. Oh, no, 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 no. I did not create this. I was dragged along. My parents dragged me along. My spouse dragged me along. I'm not where I wish to be. I don't live where I wish to live. And others will say, I just went. I just threw away the map and I allowed life to unfold, to take me where I feel I was meant to go. It is a great discovery to stand where I stand. So when the question was asked, where are you standing along your pathway of life? Is it pleasing to your heart? Are you satisfied? Are you dissatisfied? Are you content? Are you frustrated? Are you creating from the place of pureness in your heart, the pureness of your own wishes and desires? Or are you creating from a place of another's wishes and desires? What is easiest for all? Taking one in a direction, to just going, if you will. Sort of like being a passenger in a car and not truly having control which way the car is going. Just being the passenger. Allowing one to take one along for the journey, one along for the travel, one along for the ride, if you will. So in your life creation, days feeling every day, responsibilities over and over and over, wanting to provide a space for others, wanting to experience what one wants to experience, and yet there's a yearning, a calling, that there is something far greater than one is experiencing. Where are you standing in your scenery, in your portrait? What are you creating? When one ponders one's life's creation, when one ponders previous steps, when one ponders future steps, one is taking in all the knowledge that one has to create a path that will allow them to feel joy. And yet ones will say, oh, I don't feel joy. I've had the same job for years. Mundane. I cannot stand it. Time in, time out. That's all I do. It is only a paycheck. I am not creating a thing. And in my personal world, oh, the upheaval. I always feel like someone is on my case. Someone is needing something, wanting something. I cannot find a peaceful moment, not for one moment, until I pass out at night, only to have an alarm clock wake me up and do it all over again. Now, it sounds like we are not painting a picture that sounds too beneficial or rewarding. But many are living just like that. Ones will say, oh no, I gave up on my dreams long ago. My dreams, they weren't going to put, it was not going to put any money in my pocket. All the ones around me told me I couldn't do it, that my head was in the clouds, building castles in the air. So I chose the next best thing. I chose the work that was available. It was easy enough. And before I knew it, years had passed. But in that time, I found a space to accept what I was given, if you will. Are you holding a personal desire that you or someone else has talked you out of because it did not fit into the standard way of life, if you will? So standard way of life, again, depending on what part of the world one is living in. Standard part of life. Go to school, become well educated, find a partner, marry the partner, have a family, raise a family, have a career, something that you want or not, but enough to supply. And then retire, the children grow and have lives of their own. In retirement, then ones can relax. And yet sometimes they're not relaxed because, well, they feel life has passed them by. So where are you on this journey? Where are you on this journey? And we're not saying that one should live just like that and get married and have children. Many do not wish to have a partner. Many do not wish children. Many want to be free of the ordinary, if you will. And many are free of the ordinary. So it feels like this conversation is going around in circles, and perhaps it is. But it is an opening for ones to ponder, not to bring forth one to feel badly about where they are standing on their journey, if they are standing in a place they don't really truly wish to stand, or they're standing and they don't feel fulfilled. That is not what we are wanting to bring forth. What we are wanting to bring forth is the knowing in your own being that you are brilliant, even if you are not feeling that you are living brilliantly. We really want ones to hear that you are brilliant, even though perhaps you feel that you are not living brilliantly. And what is living brilliantly? Ones will say, well, I want to be famous. I want to live the life of the rich and the famous. And yet there are so many that experience that. And happiness is not to be found. Happiness is not to be found. Not fulfilled. So it's not what one has in their surroundings that is the fulfillment. It is knowing ones are fulfilled before the experience. It is hard to get one's head around, but if one can feel fulfilled without the experience of thinking something is going to bring something that is going to make life a whole lot better, a whole lot easier, a whole lot more rewarding, one then is waiting for something to arrive. And if it does not arrive, then one truly feels unfulfilled, ripped off perhaps. I did the steps. I walked the journey I wanted to walk. I don't see the career change. I don't see the advancement. I don't have a partner I don't have a partner. And ones feel truly saddened. And the reason being is because they are looking outside themselves for something to bring them happiness. Have you ever met a very joyful, abundantly happy, if you will, one person, and you look at their life and you wonder how they could feel so happy? You look at their surroundings, what they have created, where they're standing on their journey, and it does not reflect success, if you will, in the context of success. In fact, it is opposite. And yet they find joy in every one thing. Why is that? Why is that? How does it all work? So, we ask the question, where are you standing on your journey of life? Again, not to bring forth of the things that were not accomplished. To allow space to understand that wherever you are standing, you have the opportunity to feel the love that you hold inside. And ones will say, would you go away with all this BS? You don't know what I have lived. Oh, just go away with all your love and your light and your... go away. And we want to share that if ones took the time to find deep, true gratitude for the scenery one is standing in, the scenery does change. The scenery does change. How does it change? It is a vibration of gratitude that changes the scenery to become greater than it is. Now, ones will say, yes, but I was grateful and I lost everything. I was grateful. I had my own business. Customers did not arrive, lost the business. I was grateful when I had the business. Yes. But are you grateful you lost the business? Well, what do you mean, grateful I lost the business? I lost the business. How can anyone feel great gratitude about that, about being a failure? How can I feel gratitude into failing when I was so sure I would be a success? Yes, but are you sure that you failed? And what would create the understanding of the failing? One's beating upon oneself. We say it all the time. We say it time and time and time again. Perception can be changed with varying degrees. And just a shift in perception can allow space of gratitude and allow space to understand of the unfolding of the scenery. So let us go back to the example of I had a business, I lost it, I am a failure. Who created the feeling of failing? Who created the feeling of failing? Was it oneself? Was it others around? Was it both? Was it oneself believing that one is a failure, believing that they were going to fail? I knew I was going to fail. I did it anyway. I knew I was going to fail. Others told me I was going to fail before I even got started, but I ignored what they were saying, and I went ahead. I opened this business, and it failed. Why didn't I just listen to others? And we want to say, you did listen to others. Deep within your being, somewhere you believed that it was going to fail. You wanted to overcome it. You wanted to prove it not correct. But the belief in the underlying, if we want to say, in the background. What if your experience of creating a business, now you can use any experience, anything that one feels like they have failed. Some people feel that they have failed throughout their entire life. They look around their scenery and all they experience is the sense of failure. Who measures success, and what is success? We have so many questions because we want ones to ponder one's own brilliance. We want ones to see life without the condemnation and the judgment of where one stands the day where they stand on the day they stand. And how many are standing in the midst of this beautiful scenery, everything they could desire. And you speak to them a year later and it is nothing like it was a year previous. Or you've heard of ones truly down in the dumps, if you will, just making it, just getting by, the lowest of lows, devastation. And you see them a year later, and they are living on cloud 9. They have created something of grandness that they feel so good in sharing, so good in experience. Why is that? We are bringing it to one's attention to understand that ones are standing in a place, regardless of how one feels about the place, to have the understanding that ones create by the beliefs of what and who they are. So if every soul is as brilliant as the sun, would it not hold true that every soul is successful? Would it not hold true that the scenery is grand for everyone? So why the contrast? Why 1 year all things went so well and planned, yummy, delicious, good, and the next year all was gone? The next year the contrast extreme, heartache extreme. Why is that? And if that is experience, would it not hold true then down the road? There's a very good possibility it all turns around again, and then it all turns around again, and it all turns around again. Where are you though? Are you enjoying it or not so much? Either way, would ones agree it would all turn around? Now, we're not suggesting that if ones are living their grandest life, that it is all going to fall apart. Not at all. Not at all. In fact, the opposite. What we are sharing is where you are standing this day. You have the ability to create from within and put forth the best of who you are to create a life of your desire. Now, to some, it will sound like a whole bunch of BS. And to others, they will say, but show me. I have been struggling for years. Show me how it's done. And we want to say, we want to share. One of the best places to start along the pathway wherever one stands. The gift of gratitude for where one stands. How can I be grateful for this? My wife just walked out the door. Yes. And some are on their pathway saying, I am so abundantly excited. My wife just walked out the door. Just think about it. Just think about it. And we said wife, it could be a husband. We are just giving examples. We want to be careful with our wording here. What we are saying is what is good for one may not be good for another. In fact, it may not be good for anyone else but the one with the desire. So, we ask the question, where are you standing along your journey of life, and are you satisfied or dissatisfied? Either way, you are standing in the most brilliant light. Because if you are satisfied, if you are enjoying, if you are embracing, if you are playful, if you feel abundant, and if you find a space of gratitude for your creation and find a space to want to shine your kindness and compassion, the world continues to light up. And if you are standing on your scenery of life and it is everything you did not think it would be, you feel that you are failing miserably, you feel that nothing is working out, you feel that this is not where you were to be standing, celebrate, for you have within the creation to create your desires. And you can create in a space of pure and deep gratitude. What if the failing business was the best thing that ever happened? Except one can't see it where they are standing. They're only going to see that when they continue their journey and they can look back. What if the spouse that has had just walked out? What if it was the best thing that ever happened to one? But they only discover it down the road. Just think about it. The best remedy to bring yourself to the place of contentment, even if you look around and you do not feel contentment, the best remedy is to understand that all could be presented in the light in which you choose to create? What if all the adversity was to your greatest, highest good? What if? What if? What if it is all stepping stones? What if it is all stepping stones? Just ponder. Just ponder. And if you are in a career that drags you right down, that you feel just as like a hamster on a wheel, paycheck in, paycheck out, find the gratitude in the experience. Find the gratitude in the experience. I am living this now. I am thankful that the money is going into the bank. And I am thankful that I will create something different for myself. And I am thankful that I am not beating myself up with unkind words to hold me in the same scenery. Think of if you're standing in a scenery you're not enjoying, and you're going to beat upon yourself for standing there, and others are going to beat upon you for standing there. Others that care about you deeply, what can you not do better than that? Unkind words delivered. And all these unkind words go into one's being, pounded. And think of it like a nail with a hammer. Every unkind word, the hammer coming down on top of the nail. And every time the hammer comes down on top of the nail, it goes into the ground. So where you are standing, metaphorically, where you are standing, if you are beating upon yourself or standing where you stand, think of it as a hammer coming down on your head and beating you into the ground. And if you are in the ground, where is the movement in your feet? It is difficult to move ahead when one feels beaten into the ground. Now, how does one lift themselves out of the ground? They stop hammering. They stop the unkind words. They don't listen to others with their unkind words and harsh judgment. They see the blessing in where they are standing. They see the blessing in all that they do and experience. They see the world with a new set of eyes, if you will. They see the blessing among them. They feel the gratitude, bring it forth, and really ones do get lifted out of the ground, if you will, to take the step that they are wanting, desiring to take. It starts with kindness. It starts with compassion. We say it all the time. Kindness and compassion towards oneself. Softness towards oneself. So you're not standing where you wish to stand. Are you kind about it? Are you caressing and soothing your soul about it? Or are you beating upon yourself about it? Think about it. And then you question why you haven't moved forward. Are you being kind towards yourself about the scenery in which you stand? Now, this conversation went many avenues. It took many little pathways, not truly feeling that there's a conclusion to the exchange, but there is. The message that was brought forth today for you to ponder was how are you feeling where you are standing in life, and how are you treating yourself and others where you are standing in life? How kind have you been toward yourself? How compassionate have you been toward yourself and others? And to know you are so brilliant that when you take the time to understand your brilliance, instead of beating upon oneself, there is movement to brilliance. Just think about it. Ponder it. Wherever you are this day, find from within gratitude. For you know it may all change by the end of the day. Sceneries change, seasons come and go. Blue skies, sunny skies, gray skies, cloudy skies, sunny skies. It is all movement. While you are moving through the unfolding of life, be kind and gentle with yourself. Stop condemning oneself. Do not compare yourself to others who you feel are very successful. For their heart may be in such deep pain you wouldn't want to change life with them. Just create from the space of knowing that you are the creator. And by understanding of your brilliance, you will create brilliance. You are the miracle creating miracles. Find joy from within. Find love from within. Even if you do not feel joy or love, even if you have not experienced kindness or compassion towards yourself or to another, or the other way around, one's not being very kind, don't absorb it. Don't believe in the unkind words. Know of your brilliance. We cannot say it any other way. So walk your journey knowing of your grandness, knowing of your great purpose. And ones will say, I don't know my purpose. I've been stuck in the mud for so long, I wouldn't know my purpose. Purpose is to go on the greatest treasure hunt of the love you hold within and extend forth to create your wishes, dreams, and desires. Compassion and kindness to yourself and to others. It is a grand purpose. Just think about it. Think about how life would feel if you never heard a condemning word, spoken or received. Think about where you would stand along your pathway. For even if you stood in mud, you would still have the knowing of your purpose, of happiness, of fulfillment. Just ponder the words. There is great love for you.